In 2021, one NA Pepega sought to infiltrate the EU region, rob them of their IO scores, and walk away with a cool Keystone Masters achievement. This is his story. Yo, what's up? We're back again with another video from the Infiltrating EU series. This is the series where I am trying to pug Keystone Masters completely undercover on the European realms. I'm trying to get as far as I can. At this point, we are still pretty low item level. I think in this episode we go from something in the range of like 165 to like 182. So we're actually ramping pretty hard. Recently, I've actually been gaining a lot of item level on the character. I mean, first things first, we have to still grind renown, which is what I'm doing here. I'm still grinding callings. As you can see right here, I'm still grinding up just anima so I can be able to upgrade the campaign items. And that's basically that was our number one goal for a little bit, is to just grind the callings, grind our renown, and get our campaign done. I've actually recently finished that on live. If you've been following the series on my Twitch stream at all, I recently actually did finish the callings, but in this episode, we're still going up and doing the callings themselves. We're still doing world quests and that kind of stuff, trying to get to that gear that you can upgrade to 197 item level. So this is definitely more of some filler footage and whatnot of me doing world quests, of me making my way through the zones. Of course, as well, we do also have something that's really important that came out this week during the series, and that was the Emissary of War bonus. For those who don't know, the Emissary of War bonus is whenever you complete 4 dungeons, you get 4 mythic dungeons, you get 1 heroic raid piece of loot, which is like either 213 or 220 item level, depending on where the loot came from. I'm in fucking dire need of a weapon at this point, and I'm actually, I think I was literally wearing a 150 item level weapon. An actual 150 item level weapon. So no matter how I felt this week, I mean, and in this week during the series, I was not, I was actually kind of busy with MDI, doing other stuff, so it was kind of rough for me to get a lot of footage, but I knew that I absolutely, at the minimum, had to be able to get 4 dungeons done. That was, no questions asked, that had to be my number one priority, is to get 4 dungeons done. And so, I mean, it starts off with a +4 mists. I'm still doing really low dungeons. Again, another thing that you have to know is that I'm always going to be pugging my key. I don't really think that I'm going to be really ever looking to play other people's keys. I really just don't find it super time efficient, especially early on, right? It's easier for me to control the groups whenever I'm making the groups, and it just gets me into groups faster if I'm the one who's making the group. So, I mean, we're starting off with the 4 mists. It's on Inspiring. My expectations are literally nothing. I just want to complete the dungeon. I didn't really realize how bad it was going to go, but we had a lot of fucking wipes. Like, let me tell you guys, I didn't realize how bad dealing with the tenders, which are the maze mobs, on Inspiring were, and how often they were going to heal, and how many wipes we were going to have in this dungeon. But oh my god, it was a mess. And I mean, like I said, I don't really care like too terribly much. Like I'm not too upset about this. My main goal right now is we're still in gearing mode. Basically, there are gonna be 2 modes to this series. There's gonna be the prep mode and the gearing mode, which is what we're seeing right now, is what we're going through. And then there's gonna be the push mode, where I'm hitting that like 3rd or 4th week of the Great Vault. I've gotten that. I've gotten some pretty good loot, and I really started to hit that 210, 215 range, and I'm able to actually start doing competitive damage. And that's the push mode, where we're really going to start getting ready to do those 15s. We're going to gear up. We're going to start getting higher and higher keys. But right now, we're definitely in that gearing mindset. And that's something that you have to do. Like, whenever you're doing dungeons as a whole, there are 2 different modes. There's the gearing mode, and then there's the push mode. And once you finish the gearing mode, then you can actually start to go into that push mindset, like I was talking about, and get ready for that kind of thing. And that's definitely something that you have to factor in whenever you're looking at it. Because whenever people are looking at LFG for players, they're looking at 2 things: item level and IO score. And if you don't have one or the other, then you're likely to not get an invite. And it's really hard to get IO without item level. I guess as technically as possible with like a boost or something like that. But like realistically, it's really hard to get IO without item level. So focusing on item level first and foremost, and then start forming your own groups. Start running your own keys, that kind of thing. That's what's going to really propel you into the future. I mean, that's one of the big takeaways that I want to give people with this series, is to run your own key. Like, that's one of the easiest ways, first off, to get into a group And secondly, that's just like one of the biggest tidbits of knowledge that I can give you is just like run your own key. And even if you deplete it, run it again, re-roll the key. And it's more difficult to have like a wider selection of dungeons because there are 8 dungeons, but you will eventually like roll through all the keys, right? You'll get IO score. You'll eventually even get Keystone Masters because you're just going to, at some point, go through all of the dungeons. So rerunning your own key back to back to back to back is definitely the best solution, especially if you're doing +4s, right? You see me in this 22 death mists. I don't remember what went wrong, but this was just definitely like one of those things that's inspiring troll dust the whole entire time, and it's really not that great. I'm not too upset about it. Again, I'm still in the gearing mode, but like run your own key. That's the biggest tidbit of knowledge that I have for people is that like if they're doing their own key, then you're always going to be re-rolling it. You're always going to be getting new stuff, and you're going to be getting in just like a new keystone every single time, and you could form the groups, and you could be as elite as you want with the groups. Like, you know how I'm sure you guys have seen these posts on like WoW Reddit and competitive WoW subreddit and stuff like that about the elitism in like LFG and how people are like, oh, super restrictive about IO score that they shouldn't be and super restrictive about item level that they shouldn't be. You know what making your own group does? It allows you to be that asshole in LFG and be like, why would I take this 215 item level Mistweaver Monk whenever I can grab this 218 item level that has 200 IO higher Restoration Shaman? And you're like, all right, we'll take the Shaman, I guess. And it allows you to form the groups. It allows you to make the comps. You can go and open up Raider IO. And like, obviously I'm not doing this here. Like this is not relevant for a +3. I'm literally taking whoever I can get. And you know what? You know what we got here? This Demon Hunter tank, this ended up being some random guy's alt. Like this, and this happens sometimes where you'll look up somebody's character, and this was like a 175 item level Demon Hunter. 175 item level Demon Hunter, he doesn't really have much business being an LFG, but this is somebody's like rat character, and he's looking, and he's like a 2K main, right? This is like some 2K main's alt. And you know what? You say, oh shit, this guy's some guy's rat character, but this guy knows how to game. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for people who know how to game and know how to play. And and making your own groups helps you with that. For sure. Like, obviously, I'm not getting help from people in my chat. I'm not looking for help at all. I'm not looking for any assistance at all. But like, dude, I'm not gonna forego somebody's 2K rat alt as long as they're not like stream sniping me and like trying to help and blah 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 blah. As long as it's natural, I'm definitely down to take it, and I'm down to take the help. And that's like something that you have to take too. Is like whenever you're making the groups, you get like some really, really nice gems, especially from people's alt characters potentially. And you're like, damn, that guy's high rated, and damn, this is alt. And you get some good stuff. But yeah, we're definitely still in gearing mode. You see, we're going through the 3 DOS. Honestly, getting the tank being like some 2K IO tank main, like not a tank main, but like I think he was he's like a blood DK. I would say he's like a blood DK main. And he's re-rolling Demon Hunter, has this like 175 item level Demon Hunter, and you're like, he signs up in the group as like 2K IO main, and you're like, I'm down with this. You're like, okay, I'll take this. And like that's actually a pretty big deal because it means that he knows how to do the dungeon. And like you see on screen right here, we're about to +3 this dungeon. This is definitely one of those things that's very fortuitous for me. Yeah, sure, I'm still at a +3, but like we're not here for the loot from the +3. I mean, the loot wouldn't be bad for me. Like I could really use a fucking trinket, but what we're here for is to do all 4 dungeons for our Emissary of War. And we're still in the gearing process. And we're still in gearing mode mindset, getting ready for the long haul. And like we're still grinding up renown and stuff like that. And if you've been watching the series live, I finished renown. Like and I've actually gained almost 15 item levels from when this was recorded, right? So and this was last reset. And so just more access to the vault, finishing up my renown. The next step for me is to do a higher level key for my vault access. Hopefully this week I would like to get like a 10 or a 12 done, but like on this reset, like my goal was to just get all 4 Emissaries of War because I was like kind of behind on time. But like in the future, stuff like moving up to like a 10 or a 12 and getting higher level Great Vault choices. Additionally to that, I would like to get like 1400 or 1600 in arena and get a weapon. I think that those are pretty decent goals for me. And if I'm able to actually get the weapon too, that's like something that I can upgrade as time goes on with honor. And even if I am 1600, that allows me to get like a what, a 220 weapon? Is it a 216 weapon? Something that's higher than what I have currently, for sure. And I would definitely be super happy with that. But like whenever I'm still in the gearing mode, I can't really do any of that. So yeah, we do the 3 DOS, we 3 chest it, then we go on to 6 Halls of Atonement, like you can see on screen. I mean, the 6 halls goes okay. It's not like it's not an exceptional run. It's not overly difficult. Definitely not as funny as last week's Halls of Atonement with the prot pally that got booted out of the group. I didn't realize at the time, but apparently that was a bug with the game. That's happened occasionally where people just will sometimes get disconnected from the game. But it definitely was something that I learned in the process of in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for leaving comments about that. I actually had no idea, but it was still a pretty funny scene. But yeah, so I mean, the funny thing is too, we're still encountering elitists, and it reminds me that Mythic Plus is and LFG in general is such a selfish act that you always have to be selfish, like, because other people, if you are not selfish for yourself and are looking out for your own best interests, then other people will step on top of you to take like what you have worked for, right? And whether that be get that slot that you probably should have gotten in that LFG, or whether that be just with loot. Even though it may not be an upgrade for some people, we've seen memes about people being like, no, I'm keeping this loot for disenchanting. And you're like, what the hell? I could use this. And it's like, you start getting like really not great people. And so the only way to counter not great people is to also be selfish. And I mean, that's just the unfortunate nature of LFG. And you have to counter the elitism and selfishness with your own unfortunate elitism and selfishness. But it's not really the point of the series. I mean, we're going to be I'm going to use this series as like a pretty big learning tool for a lot of people, and a lot of people I think will learn stuff along the way, and I hope that people have fun with the series, because that's a big part of it as well, is that it's supposed to be fun. Like this is definitely going to end up being like more of a theoretical episode as opposed to like a big gameplay focused episode. We're just going to talk a little bit, right? I feel like that's where this has devolved into, but that's what the point of this is just to have fun, right? That's the point of Mythic Plus in general, and people are chasing that one little drop of IO, that one dopamine hit, that nice small hit of serotonin to get that IO, and honestly everybody's chasing it, right? And I don't blame people for being super selfish through LFG, but it's just one of the struggles of how it works. So that, I mean, that's why whenever people ask like, how do you do XYZ, the easiest way of doing it is to just always make your own group or play with guildies or play with friends or whatever else. And I understand that's not always possible for everybody to have a consistent group of people to play with, but it damn does it make it easier, for certain. Yeah. So as you see on screen here, I don't remember what key I got out of that Halls of Atonement, but I decided it wasn't worth running, and I decided that instead I needed to actually do an M0 for the last key that I needed for the Emissary of War. We end up doing that. It didn't take too much time. Getting people for an M0 mists during Emissary of War week was not the most difficult of endeavors, but it definitely did happen. So then after that, we're turning in our Emissary of War cache. We're joking like, oh god, dude, what if I get boots? Can you imagine? Okay, this is a little bit spoilery because like I don't get boots, but can you imagine if I did get legendary boots? I got a necklace, right? You can see on screen. I got the necklace from Huntsman Altamore, and I'm like, this is a pretty big stat upgrade. This is not bad for a 213. I'll take this. Can you imagine if I got something that was in my legendary slot? I would have been so salty, actually. I was sitting there thinking like, damn, I need a weapon, or damn, I need a trinket. If I got boots though, that would have been the worst. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's the end of the video. We end up completing the Emissary of War. We end up getting to 184 item level, so not bad, all things considered. This was a pretty weird video where we just talked a lot of theory about where the series is going to go. Again, we just got to keep grinding the anima. We're still in gearing mode. We got to make our way that way. And then we're going to be looking to start actually pushing keys in the next next week or so. We'll end up actually being able to push some keys. probably from whenever this goes live, we'll be able to get some 50, maybe a 15 done at some point. So yeah, the series is actually starting to pick up in terms of pacing. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you guys in the next one. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.